How y'all doing? We are back with our regularly scheduled programming here on It's Positively Lana. I have been gone for a minute, but I am back and better than ever. So I have exciting announcements at the end of this video about what's to come next, and I also upgraded and invested in some recording equipment. I've been using my phone since day one, so if you have any interest in knowing what I'm using now, I'm more than happy to send the links below. Let me know in the comments. And I think that's it for us to get started. Let's jump right into it today. We are here to pay our respects to the art of conversation, because if 2020 didn't kill it, 2021 definitely has. However, there is hope. There is always hope. And today we are going to go through tools to revive, to bring back from the dead, better than ever, like a phoenix. The art of conversation. In most cases, we have been socialized to not speak about things that are uncomfortable, especially at the dinner table. If you gather, well, now it's all via Zoom, but if you're gathering with people, things that you don't talk about at dinner are going to be sex, religion, and politics. So I'm saying throw that out. Flip the script right away. So not only are we going to talk about uncomfortable conversation topics, but we're going to over-communicate about them instead of under-communicating. So my partner will tell you right away that I am a big advocate for over-communicate. I would rather know too much than not know enough, because one thing that we are seeing in our society is the less that we talk about topics that are divisive, the more people are radicalizing to their own respective sides. And there's no benefit in hiding the facts unless you are trying to keep people in the dark. We are intelligent enough, we are humble enough, we have enough common ground that I don't need, and neither do you, somebody hiding the facts from you so that you don't have all the information to make your decisions. So with that in mind, in the art of conversation, those topics that are uncomfortable, that is the time that you need to know more and not less to be able to come to a rational and also informed decision based on the information provided and not have things withheld from you. And this is not just for personal things, but also for obviously the social climate in the United States. Holding things back doesn't help. And if you didn't know, media outlets in 1949 had been introduced to what was known as the Fairness Doctrine. So broadcasting stations from 1949 to the late 80s had to broadcast equal time for multiple sides of a story. They weren't allowed just to make one side and to keep with that one side as their running narrative. So I think this is super important to know that that was abolished again in the late 80s, and it is so important when I'm talking about over-communicating that you are not just giving one side of the story, whether that be in what you are taking in media, what you are explaining when you are communicating something that is important to you or personal. Give as much information and as wide of a spectrum of information as you can. There's so much value in presenting a full scope of an event if you have the details to do so. People who know me in my real life know that when I am telling a story or explaining my position, I don't expect them to take that as pure fact, because there are multiple truths that can be possible in one conversation, in one event, and we need to get back to having that be the base of how we express what's going on. I am not the hero in every situation in my life. And in many of them, especially from personal accounts, I have made mistakes too. And if you aren't telling a story, or you aren't recollecting an event or explaining an event with those nuances in it, I invite you to start doing so, because that is going to give you more valuable feedback if that's what you're looking for when you are communicating with another person. Now that we are on the ball and getting the ball rolling of how we are communicating with one another, it's important that we look at the other aspect of communication in general, which is then the receiving end. If you are listening, how are you listening to the person who is giving you that information? And the best question to ask is, are you listening to respond, or are you listening to actually intake that information, hearing what that person is saying to you, hearing what that outlet is saying to you? Because if all you're doing is thinking about how you are going to give feedback without actually digesting what is coming to you, you are missing the conversation, the interaction that is happening right in front of you. A good tool to start using when you are engaging in the active part of listening is if you are ready to give feedback, or if that's the only thing you're thinking about and you catch yourself going, wow, like I'm not even listening to what this person is saying or what this outlet, whatever it is that you're going to be responding to, it may be a good idea to set an intention for how that conversation is going to go before it even starts. If you can do that, if you can set that intention. So a good question to start with is, are you looking for feedback, or are you looking for me just to listen? You can ask that question in many different ways. Are you looking for comfort? Are you looking for feedback? Are you looking for solutions? Just to put that out there, so then if you catch yourself already looking for ways to respond to that individual and they asked you just to be a listening ear, then you can just shut that down right away. If that person is looking for a response and you are not in the headspace to do so, or to actually intake what they are saying, then it may be a better idea just to move the conversation to a time that is more likely for you to be present, or possible for you to be present. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm really looking to give you valuable feedback. I can't be present at this moment. Can we talk about this at a later time? Or I'm happy to listen right now. I may need some time to give you the feedback that you are looking for me to present. I want to make sure that I am present when I'm giving you that feedback, or something to that extent. It doesn't have to be a perfect response, but as long as you're being honest and open about it, that's really what we're trying to do here for the art of conversation, is just bring it back to a place that people can actually speak about in topic. People can digest what is being said in hearing people, and then being able to give response back to that if that's what they're looking for. This is a muscle that you have to flex. You have to build the tool set to be able to do these things. It is not easy to be an active listener in some regard, especially if the topic is something that you have a difference of opinion on, you have a different stance on. That does not mean, though, that you just start to tune those people out. The less we are actually communicating, the less that we are actually able to civilly talk about or civilly respond to uncomfortable topics. It is the time to recalibrate, really ground down, and find that space where you can respectfully view others, even with a difference of opinion, even with a difference in their worldview, with respect, regardless of where they're coming from. So let's get this ball rolling again. Let's actually revive the art of conversation. I hope you got some value out of what we are talking about today, and my exciting announcement is next week, we are going to have a guest on It's Positively Lana, and you are probably going to be seeing her face for quite some time, because I found another Alana, go figure, in the last couple of weeks, has been building with me the exact thing that I'm talking about right now. We have been having uncomfortable conversations, and we are bringing them to the forefront of this channel. You will be seeing more of her co-hosting as this goes along, and in between that, I'll also be putting out content by myself, but stay tuned because it's going to be an eye-opening experience for everyone involved. And what I can say is I'm so excited that we are doing this. A little nervous, don't get me wrong, a little nervous because talking about taboo topics or uncomfortable ones on camera is a whole new level, but you gotta start somewhere. And that's what this channel has really been about, sparking something that will make positive change. And through these next conversations and guest appearances, other interviews, whatever we start to build this into, I hope that it starts to open some things up for you as well and can inspire you to take a step in one way or another to open yourself up to really being fully human again and to not shut people out. Please engage here, Instagram, whatever you want, because I'm looking for feedback and building greater community. I want this to be a permeable relationship. You get to see me talk to the camera, but I also want to talk to you guys. And if you are building something good for yourself right now, starting a new project, please share what you're doing. This is about community here, and we definitely want to make sure that we are engaging with other humans and not just getting lost in the sauce of social media. So that's it for today. Have a good one. Bye.